Good morning, Mets fans, and welcome to a Monday edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and we are beginning the final week of the regular season of the 2019 baseball season. And the Mets completed a weekend series victory over the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati. I want to talk about the series, my experience at Great American Ballpark, which was fantastic, and what the rest of this week and the rest of this season holds for our New York Mets. I've always adhered to 2 out of 3 ain't bad on the show, but I wonder if at this point in the season, if 2 out of 3 ain't good enough. And that's, I think, where we find ourselves as the Mets took 2 of 3 from the Reds this weekend in Cincinnati. Unfortunate that they couldn't sweep. They are at the present time 4.5 games out of the second wild card. They are 7 games over 500 at 81-74, which is good. Right? We're guaranteed at least a 500 finish right now. Mets have 7 games to play. So even if they lose them all, they're going to finish at 500, which is, like I said, good, especially when you consider where this team was before the All-Star break. But like I said, a 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati was nice, but a sweep would have been certainly better. Really brief overview of the weekend. I was in Cincinnati for the Friday and Saturday night, Friday night game, a Saturday afternoon game. Awesome ballpark, I will say. I really enjoyed the park a lot. Great American Ballpark is an underrated stadium, in my opinion. It has a very PNC Park feel to it. But when I've seen Great American Ballpark on TV, it's always seemed to be more enclosed, and it didn't seem to have that sort of open feel that PNC has looking into the outfield. But the reality is where the park is situated, it really is right in the thick of the city, and it really does incorporate the water really nicely. So it's a really nice park. I think on Friday night, my brother and I walked around to about 10 different vantage points during the game, and we didn't find a bad view from anywhere, including the upper deck where we spent like three or 4 innings in the middle of the game. It is also where we were sitting when Pete Alonso mashed his 50th home run of the season. So that was really cool. Actually, I stand corrected. We were in the middle deck. Never mind. Sorry. So we were in the middle, but regardless, it was a fun time. It was a really great park. We had a good time on Saturday with the 7 line, a fun parade, and a not so fun finish to the game. But anyhow, recap of the weekend. Friday, deGrom, awesome. That's to be expected anymore. He is the Cy Young winner, as far as I'm concerned. There should be no competition now. He's separated himself from everybody else in the race. He's that much better than every other pitcher that he's competing against right now. I mentioned the Alonso home run on Friday. It was a blistering home run to dead center field. And the cool part about it was hard to see it live, but when I watched it on replay, just how far down and away that pitch was. And Pete still went down and got it, and not only went down and got it, but he barreled it up down there. I mean, he put such solid contact on that ball that was down and away. So just awesome for Pete. He now is 2 home runs shy of tying Aaron Judge's mark for most home runs by a rookie in MLB history. I believe he will hit the mark and surpass it this week at Citi Field. Pete Alonso also set another record this weekend, his 30th double of the year. So he now holds the MLB record for most doubles by a rookie. He's just had a remarkable season, and if deGrom is a shoo-in for the Cy Young, as I believe he is, I think Alonso's even more so a shoo-in for the Rookie of the Year. There's just no one close to the impact that Alonso's had all season for the Mets. So Friday was fun. Saturday was not so fun as far as the game goes. Zach Wheeler was excellent again. It's unfortunate that his defense betrayed him in the first inning. Todd Frazier made a crucial error that allowed the Reds to score 2 runs early. It was all they would get off of Wheeler. I think only one of the runs was earned. But Zach was fantastic on Saturday again, and he keeps inching more and more toward the conversation for 2020 as a member of the Mets, whether it's through a longer term extension or through a qualifying offer. I think you're nuts not to try to bring Wheeler back, even if it is 1 year, $18 million. He's shown over the last 2 seasons that he is almost going to be impossible to replace in the rotation with what he's consistently been able to bring to the table. The offense on Saturday was few and far between. The Mets ended up tying the game on a Brandon Nimmo hit by pitch with the bases loaded, which is so Nimmo, but ended up falling short at the end, dropping the game. And the series was split at that point, 1-1. And then, of course, Sunday, yesterday, the Mets took the rubber game. Marcus Stroman swapped rotation spots with Steven Matz, a Mickey move that I actually fully believe in and think it was a smart decision based simply on Matz's numbers away from Citi Field versus his numbers at home. Stroman, however, was a little bit fatigued yesterday. He only lasted 4 2/3. Didn't get shelled, but certainly was off his game and couldn't last through 5 innings. So it was a bullpen game, and the bullpen stepped up, and they stepped up in a big way. They shut down the opposition, and J.D. Davis ended up hitting a home run for some insurance, as did Brandon Nimmo. When J.D. Davis hit his home run, he became the 5th Mets player this season to record 20 or more home runs. It's the first time that's ever happened in Mets franchise history, which I found amazing. I really thought in 2006 the Mets had 5 guys with 20 homers, but they didn't. So only 4 in 2006. Jose Valentin was just a tiny bit short of 20. So otherwise they would have had that mark in 06. So Mets take 2 out of 3. That's like I said, that's kind of all we can ask for, is to win every series. But I think we're at the point now where winning the series is nice, but you've got to sweep. And the Mets now have 7 games left to play. They have to run the table. I mean, they have to run the table. They have to try to get to 88 wins. It more than likely won't be enough, just simply based upon the fact that the Brewers just don't lose, and they have a cakewalk schedule, and they'd have to lose a bunch of those games down the stretch this week for the Mets to be in the wild card. So I will never give up until the Mets are mathematically eliminated, and even then I'll still watch as though they're not. But let's just enjoy this final week of the season. Let's enjoy watching Alonso chase Judge and look for those 2 more home runs. Let's enjoy the fact that it's probably going to happen at home in front of the Citi Field crowd. Let's enjoy the fact that deGrom has 1 more start in what will more than likely, as I said, be his 2nd consecutive Cy Young season. We've got a lot to look forward to with this team. Don't be disappointed in the way things wound up. Try to look at the positives. Try to look at and build upon what this team has done in the second half for next year. I know it's something that we've talked about for a long time, this being a second half team and like building on it in the next season, but this feels different this time. This is not a bunch of old guys that got their shit together in the second half. This is an establishment of a young core of players who've earned valuable experience down the stretch and are going to take that with them into 2020. So this week will be it, right? This will be the last week of Mets baseball. I will be here every day talking about it because the Mets do not have any off days this week. 4 with the Marlins, 3 with the Braves. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk about game numero uno with those Miami Fish. So until then, thanks for watching. Oh, I do want to send a special best wishes and speedy recovery message to my buddy Joel. Hope all is well, Joel. Hope you recover smoothly and you're back on the Twitter machine giving me shit about Michael Conforto very soon. So, again, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Mr_Met. And as always, let's go Mets.